Hello everyone, what's going on here? As you can tell, this is the week 10, that's right, week 10 of the NFL 2014 season. And can you believe it's already been 10 weeks in the season? Lord, where is the time gone? And I bet you anything, once the season ends, the playoffs end, we're all going to be like, God damn it, I miss football. And then football's going to come back and we're going to jump for joy. But anyways, let's start it off, shall we, with the big Thursday night game. And this could be make or break. Well, not make or break, but it's a big game. Originally when I saw this on the schedule, I was like, oh god, this game's gonna suck. But like the Cleveland Browns going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, and 5-3 Browns and the 5-2-1 Cincinnati Bengals. So should be a good matchup. Uh, It's interesting too because your gut feeling wants to pick the Bengals because oh, Andy Dalton, oh, AJ Green, oh, Giovanni Bernard, that should be better than Ben Tate and Brian Hoyer of the Cleveland Browns. But with that being said and all, and I believe this is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the last game before Josh Gordon comes back for the Browns. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it is because I do remember he had a 10-game suspension, which was incredibly stupid. But anyways, originally it was a year. But moving on. The Bengals. I want to pick the Bengals, but we've all seen every time they have a prime time game. Yes, it's Thursday night football, still considered prime time, obviously. Every time they have a prime time game, they just fall short on their asses. So it's like, but at home in Cincinnati, I think the Bengals have the advantage. So I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. Next, you got the Atlanta Falcons, which is the Sunday games. Matt Ryan and Atlanta Falcons. Oh my God, what the hell has happened to this team? Going to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers, and as Lovie Smith said last week, this team is not playing very well. Basically, I'm summing it up in my own words. I'm sitting there going, Lovie, no shit. Anywho, usually the Falcons do obviously well against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have been kind of the bottom feeding team for the last several years, and obviously this year with the record of 1-7, I think they'll still be that way, despite the Falcons only have one win team better than the Buccaneers. But I am going to go with the Falcons. I don't think it's going to be a big blowout like we saw early in the season on Thursday Night Football, but damn. So then we got the Kansas City Chiefs on the road to take on the Buffalo Bills. This should be a very intriguing matchup because both teams, of course, are 5-3. You got Kyle, the legend killer, Orton facing his former team, of course, former team being the Kansas City Chiefs. That kind of puts in a interesting matchup in itself. Um, the Bills, as a guy in the AFC East, I think that the Bills are going to be a 8-8 or 9-7, a team that a respectable record, but they're still going to miss the playoffs and not be amazing per se. Um, the Chiefs, they beat the Dolphins, they beat the Jets, they beat the Patriots. You think they beat the Bills, right? Even though it's in Buffalo, so I'm gonna go Kansas City. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. Help out them Cowboys. Brandon Weeden and company. Yeah. Go to Jacksonville. Take on the Jaguars. Actually, they're not in Jacksonville. Excuse me. This is the London game. Pardon me. Oh, good Lord. Another London game. Grant, at least the freaking Falcons and Lions was a good game. This, yeah, Brandon Weeden's being the quarterback. This could still be a good game if Brandon Weeden's the quarterback. That's how bad Brandon Weeden is. But, anywho, if in fact Tony Romo does play, obviously Cowboys should whip the tails off the Jaguars. But if Brandon Weeden's playing, I still pick them to win. But I wouldn't be surprised with nail biter because that's how much Brandon Weeden sucks. So then we go into the Miami Dolphins. They're on the road to take on the Detroit Lions, and this should be kind of interesting. Of course, like I said, about the Bills. The Dolphins 5-3, also a 5-3 team. Going to Detroit. I think the Lions are coming up a bye week. I believe Calvin Johnson should be back for this game. Reggie Bush, I don't know what his health is right now, but Golden Tate. Who would have thought Golden Tate has been looking very well for the Lions as of late? And I'm sure Seattle. I mean, remember they let Percy Harvin go just a couple weeks ago. They traded him to the Jets. They need a wide receiver. You had Golden Tate, and you decided to let him go. Congratulations. Now you're stuck with Doug Baldwin. So, that being said, I think the Lions will win. Tannehill's been playing better as of late, but the Lions' defense is good. So, yeah, I'm going to Detroit. They said the Tennessee Titans on the road, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Matt Manberg. Ugh. Ravens, they came down from a pretty good beatdown on Sunday Night Football. They're pissed off. They don't want to face this Ravens defense being pissed off. Yeah, Ravens. This is going to be, to me, I think this could be game of the week right here. The San Francisco 49ers, 4-4, going on the road to take on the also 4-4 New Orleans Saints. How about the Saints? You know, people are saying, "Oh, the Saints suck. They're down. They're out." Ugh. Then you got to remember, they're in the NFC South, one of the worst divisions I've seen in recent years. But of course, it's in New Orleans. San Francisco, their offensive line is trash. Colin Kaepernick's not playing as well as people thought he would, and that defense is not bad, but it's in New Orleans. We all know Drew Brees and company love that Cajun cooking. So go in New Orleans, go with the Saints. Next, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road to take on the New York Football Jets. Jets 1-8. Ben Roethlisberger is playing out of his freaking mind right now. I don't know what the hell. I mean, this guy, to this point, he's making the case of possibly MVP. You know, I know that's stretching it, but then again, the guy has thrown, what, 6 touchdowns the last 2 games in each game. That's 12 touchdowns in 2 games. What the hell did this happen? You know, Antonio Brown's been looking good, of course. They got that young stud Bryant at wide receiver. He's looking good as well. So the Jets, they're a mess. Steelers. The Denver Broncos on the road to take on the Raiders. Do I really need to say more about this game? No, I don't. Broncos. Okay, next up the St. Louis Rams on the road to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Now, if this was most years, I would pick the St. Louis Rams, and here's the reason why. The guy who's lived in Arizona for the last several years, I've noticed that the Rams, for some odd reason, they always beat the Cardinals in Arizona. It's always usually by a field goal, too. It's like 3 or 6 points, max 6. So it's relatively usually a close game. And I would not be surprised if this was a close game either, because as of late, the Rams have been playing very well. You saw what they did against Seattle. You saw what they did against the 49ers. They're 2-1 in their division. You know, the 49ers, I mean, the Rams, yeah, they're 3-5. That's a bad record. But 2-1 in the division? That's pretty good. Not bad. So, ignore the stupid dog in the background. Gotta go with the Cardinals. I think they're too much on a roll right now. And this is a different team in recent years. So, go Cardinals. Then you got the Seattle Seahawks hosting Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants, who basically got murdered on Monday Night Football against Andrew Luck and the Colts. The Seahawks, you know, they barely beat the Raiders, and this is what I'm thinking right now. Other than that victory in overtime against the Broncos, which, you know, shouldn't have gone to overtime to begin with, but the Seahawks, all their wins have not impressed me. From a team that just won the Super Bowl, the team that's supposed to have the dominant defense, the team that's supposed to have the best cornerback in the National Football League in Richard Sherman. Granted, Russell Wilson is improving, he's doing very well. Marshawn Lynch is struggling as of late, and the passing game is you know, suspect at best. So I'll go with the Seahawks, but I feel it's gonna be one of those games that, you know, it's not that impressive. Like, the Seahawks will win by like a touchdown. I kid you not. You know, it's like, okay, they should have killed the Giants, but they didn't. So then we have the Sunday night game. We got the Bears, the 3-5 Chicago Bears. And I know the Bears just came off a bye week, so no one say this to me. But how the hell do the Chicago Bears have a worse record than the Minnesota Vikings? Just putting it out there. Going to Green Bay to take on the Packers and Lambeau. I'm going to go with the Packers. Obviously, it's in Lambeau. The Bears used to struggle in Green Bay. The Bears are somewhat of a mess. I think they're a mess right now. The Packers, they got the juices going. I know Aaron Rodgers is a bit banged up. So, you know, you got a question with that, but still, I mean, this Bears team, they just shoot themselves in the foot. Defensively, they're bad. Offensively, you know, we all know how recent years how bad that offensive line is. So I'm going to go with the Packers. And last but not least, the Sunday night football game, and Monday night football game, excuse me. And I can't believe I'm freaking saying this. I can't believe I'm saying this. Mark Sanchez is going to be on Monday night football because Nick Foles decided to get injured against Houston. So we got Cam Newton, the Carolina Panthers, who have lost 3 of the last 4 games, I believe, in a tie with the Bengals. Going to Philly to take on the Eagles with, again, Mark Sanchez as their starting quarterback. Granted, you know, if the last several this season has taught us anything against with the Panthers, their run defense is complete utter shit. All right. So if you're starting LaShawn, Shady McCoy in fantasy football, you have a grin from ear to ear right now because do you really trust Mark Sanchez? No! But, the Panthers, again, they're a mess. Their offensive line is just, oh. The receiving, other than Calvin Benjamin, and, don't get me wrong, Benjamin's a good young wide receiver, but he's a rookie. You're telling this rookie, hey, you're our only option other than Greg Olsen. What? So, I'm going to go with the Eagles. I mean, this game could be ugly, to be honest with you, so. Anyways, that's it for me, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, you know the goods. And I should make a recap of the Browns and Bengals game tomorrow night. So, catch you all later then.